Hey boys and girls, we're back again. No mask today. It's hot like you can't believe, and so Corey's wearing a mask. Anyway, we're going to be doing a ride and drive on our 3 cars. We can't drive them too far because they are brand new. So we're just going to do one around the block, a little bit of talking inside each one of them. And actually what we'd like to do is give a little shout out to LaFontaine who gave us the trucks to use. They didn't give them to us, they rented them to us. But still, we're very happy and thankful. Anyway, we're going to try and go through in order. We're going to go through the Chevy. We're going to go and do the F-150 next, then we'll do the Ram last. And by the way, that's alphabetical order. So anyway, let's go through and talk a little bit about the Chevy. Let's drive it. Just go over here and see what we've got. So one of the first things, if we're talking about ride and drive and creature comforts and things like that, one of the very first things that I looked at was this has a running board. Okay, so Corey, turn around and have a look at my Jeep. That Jeep came with a running board. If you do off-roading, guess what? You take them off. They fill up with mud and they're just a nuisance. So I really don't care for running boards. I hop in, it seems to be fine for me, but I know that there's a lot of other people here that need help getting into the car. So for me, the very first thing I don't like is that thing. So we're going to get in and we're going to ride around a little bit. So I made a mention of different kinds of vehicles and whatnot, and so when you get inside of a car, you kind of look for the theme. And to me, the theme here is R2-D2. I look at this and I see Star Wars. So I think that with the big gaps they've got around the glove boxes and the way they've styled this, some of the stylists have their own little pets, and I believe that this is like an R2-D2 kind of a deal. Now, this is the brand new vehicle that they've popped out. It's a little bit different than what I remember the old one to be, but it's not extraordinarily different. Anyway, we're just gonna go and give it a little bit of a ride, a little test drive. And so the very first thing is, it's been a long time since I've seen anything on a stock. So let's just go in here and get it into drive. So anyway, let's go off here and see what happens. So we're going over a couple of bumps, and this is definitely a truck. You know instantly, our parking lot's not bad, but it just doesn't seem to be normally this bad. So you've got your typical truck ride here, just getting out of the parking lot. Pickup is good. I like that. This is a diesel engine. The Ram and the Chevy both have a diesel engine. It's all very truck-like actually. And because this is rented and we do have insurance on it, but we're not going to take it out on the real road. We're just going to go for around a couple of the little industries we get around here that are closed. So even on this concrete here, this is definitely a truck ride. It bounces quite a bit. Actually, it bounces more than I was expecting. This is my first time to drive this thing, and hopefully we can keep it square. But this is not this is definitely not what you'd call. My Jeep is better than this. Let's just swing back into our parking lot, and we'll try out the Ford 150. Okay, that's about as comfortable as I feel. So about 12 or 15 miles an hour. But yeah, this does bounce a bit. And as I mentioned before, these seats are kind of hard. Maybe after a while they'll soften up. So I'm just gonna dump this here, and we'll try the F-150 out. Okay, we're standing outside of the F-150. This is the market leader. They do about 800,000 cars a year, or trucks a year. Actually, I kind of like the styling on this one a little better than I do the Chevy. One of the things that I do like is that you'll see the running board is tucked in. As soon as I open the door, it's going to come out and say hello. I like that feature from a couple of reasons. Number one, it's tucked up inside, so when I'm going through the mud, it might get mud on it, but when it swings out, it'll drop off and I won't be stepping in mud. So let's go in, have a look, and a little test drive. Okay, boys and girls, here we are sitting inside the F-150. I've driven this car before, or truck before. This vehicle doesn't have any problems that I could point at and say I hated. It is old-fashioned. You got the dials and whatnot. This is very truck-like. Let's just take it out here and give it the same ride. And then we're going to go over the same things. So first off, let's see. I haven't been tossed around. I'm going to hit that same, what do you call it? And it did know that it was a hole there. Wow. Okay, so this one moves lots faster. That's because it's got a gas engine in it. So the pickup is better. And I will tell you that Corey's already told me that he got bounced around inside the other truck. And he didn't have anything to hang on to in the back seat. We're going in exactly the same places. Granted, we're not going over a real course and everything, but it's just a better ride. This tow's the same. Actually, all three of them tow at about the same rate. There's a little puffery that goes on that says I'm the best for this, that, or the next thing. But at the end of the day, these things are all pretty much in the same category. Let's see. Let's take this corner. 25 miles an hour. And I didn't really feel like I was going to lose it. So here we go with the Ford. All in all, not bad. I'd say that the Chevy has a worse ride than my Jeep. This one's got a better ride than my Jeep. So let's go and try out our new buddy next door at the Ram. Okay, so here we are standing next to the Ram. This again is a diesel, just like the Chevy. Okay, so I have to admit something. I like the styling on the front of this better than I do the other ones, and I absolutely love this paint job. Man, this is what Tesla needs on their vehicles. This is spectacular. I don't even like red cars, but you know what? This could change my mind. I love that color. So the looks are fine, but you know what? At the end of the day, looks fade and power is what you really want. Is this thing going to do for me? Am I going to have this as my everyday ride? What's it going to be like? So let's pop in and we'll take it around the block and we'll see what we got. Okay, well here we are inside the Ram, and I really like that. There's a minimum number of buttons here that probably I would not use in the future, and there's a few down here that kind of I would eliminate, but that's just me. I don't care for buttons. The other thing is this has got a rotary Prindle, and I kind of like this better. I really like this a lot, actually. So let's just roll and have a look. So let's first off go over the bumps. So actually, for a diesel, this has got quite a bit of pickup, and we go through the. Oh, it's okay. So the big bump getting out was, but the big thing was the, and this takes off like the Ford. So this is my first ride in this thing, and there's no real bumps here. The air system really gives you a much different ride. This does not feel like a truck at all. The bumping is at a minimum. We're going at the same basic speeds. I'm trying to watch. This thing rides well. Corey's not even gagging or trying to throw up, so that's all good. Lots of people don't like it when I drive. So again, going around the corners, this handles even better than the Ford did. Definitely better than my Jeep. This is like riding in your living room. If you like the bouncing, this is not the car for you. Oh, and here we go around the corner, and what do we got? Well, it's faster than the Ford, but unfortunately the steering wheel gets in the way of the speedometer. Somehow this felt like the fastest ride. Okay, so let's go outside, do a quick wrap up, and let you know what I think. Okay, it's time for a wrap up, but the one problem that we had is we did not have a Cybertruck. Now, if anybody at Tesla would like to give us one for a little while, we'll be happy to drive it around and tell you what we actually think. We won't tear it apart, and we understand what prototype means. But if you at Tesla would like to have us have a look at it and see how it compares with what we found here, we'd be absolutely delighted. It would really work out well for us and probably for you as well, because we can feed you back information. Okay, so now let's just talk about the numbers. So let's look at the cost. So you got the Silverado coming in at $66,000. The F-150 is $75,000. It's kind of a bad $5,000, but $75,000, and the Ram is at $69,000. These are expensive. This is not. You have to think about this before you run off and buy one. Let's look at what really counts, which is the torque. And here we've got 460 for the Silverado, 510 foot-pounds. I'm happy with that, and 480. So the Ford wins as far as torque is concerned. But let's just talk about the torque you'd get if you were looking at the Cybertruck. Let's just look at the dual motor. When we're looking at 824 foot-pounds, this is like an incredible difference. And that's one of the things that these guys are not going to be coming up with anytime soon. And that's because it's electric motors. They're direct. It's there the instant you push on the accelerator. This will be an unfair comparison to do that in the future. But really and truly, like I said, we didn't get one of these. These are on paper, and on paper that's fine, but nothing appeals to me more than actually looking inside and driving. So let's go back and see what I think about these trucks. First off, I told you that there were certain things that you think about when you're deciding how you're going to drive, how you're going to drive the design of a product. And that's what kind of buyer are you looking for? And those buyers have different ages. There's 3 different ages. You have your chronological age, that's like from the day you were born, your health age, and then you have this other age. And the other age is your spiritual age, or there's lots of different verbiage for it, but in essence it's how you feel about things as opposed to what your chronological age might be or your health age might be. So chronological age is obvious. Health age is, some people are unfortunately born with health issues, and so that's something you take into consideration. And then you've got the spiritual age, and the spiritual age has nothing to do with either one of the other 2 ages. Some people in fact, one guy from Australia that we're working with to try and design his own new truck rather, that guy is crippled from the neck down, and guess what? He has a spiritual age of a teenager. I'm not. I am 71 years old, but I'm not 71 spiritually. So I look at these trucks. If I was going to pick one, it'd be the Dodge Ram. I mean, hands down, the Ram. Hands down. I would never even think of buying the other 2 after driving that. It's in the middle as far as cost is concerned. It's a fabulous look for me because I don't really care too much for chrome. And what chrome they've got, I can live with. My second choice would be the F-150. The F-150 doesn't drive as well as the Ram does, but it's got all the accoutrements and whatnot that would tell me that I would get the job done if I was talking about the F-150. My least favorite is the Chevy. I don't really understand what was going on when they were designing this thing, but this is not a truck that I would buy. I used to buy Chevys a long time ago when I was a kid and on a farm. Chevy used to be my favorite vehicle. And then Ford came along with this, and I never even considered a Ram because, quite frankly, they weren't that good. This is a real departure. This thing is, brilliant. I love this truck. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. This is our wrap up here for the trucks, unless we get a Cybertruck, in which case we'll be back at you. I'd like you to continue to remember that if you have something that you'd like to design or redesign, or you've got a new product that you want to put into the marketplace, hit us up at sales@leandesign.com. And if you could, even though I don't have a mask on right now, I think that it'd be great if you could remember those cashiers out there. We probably have three more vignettes coming up. Now that we've finished a lot more, we finished a lot more of the Model Y. We have more that we're going to be able to share with you. So stay tuned. This may be over, but there's more to come. Thank you, and have a great day.